Before we went to break, I quickly threw out a poll question. I want to know what you think. Let us know, is Facebook censoring posts more often from conservatives, the left, or do they apply the standards equally? All right, you can take the poll question, text the word radio. That's the word radio, one word, radio, to 53445. The word radio to 53445. And take the poll question. Also, for those of you living in Louisiana, that House switchboard number to call your member of the state legislature on the women's sports bill, 225-342-6945. Yesterday, President Biden delivered remarks on the economy, claiming that it was, quote, that it has come back roaring and that it was brought back from the brink. It's quoting him. He also said we've seen, quote, record growth, record job creation over the past 6 months. As for the dramatic jump in prices that we've all seen, have you seen them? I've seen them. The president said it's expected and it's temporary. And if you're worried about inflation, you should be excited about his multi-trillion-dollar three-part Build Back Better plan.
If we increase the availability of quality, affordable child care, elder care, paid leave, more people will enter the workforce. These steps will enhance our productivity, raising wages without raising prices. That won't increase inflation. It will take the pressure off of inflation, give a boost to our workforce, which leads to lower prices in the years ahead. So if your primary concern right now is inflation, you should be even more enthusiastic about this plan.
I almost thought this was a parody, but it was him saying it himself. So, well, I'm just going to go straight to our guest. Joining me now to talk about this is Dr. Dave Brat, Dean at Liberty University School of Business and a former member of Congress from Virginia. Dr. Brat, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Tony, great to be on. Thank you.
I did not want to quote from a transcript. I wanted you to hear the words from his own lips because,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not a professor of economics, but that doesn't add up.
No, that's right. The economy, if it's too hot, you get inflation. If it's too cold, you get a recession. So right now we're too hot, not because the economy's too hot, but because the federal government has spent about $10 trillion since I was in office a few years back. So that's fiscal stimulus that overheated the economy, and then another several trillion in printing money, which also overheats the economy. And so we've got inflation going on right now. That the rough phrase from economists is it's too much money chasing too few goods, right? If you got a ton of money you printed and it's chasing a few goods, well, the price is going to go up, right? That's the way it works. There's an equation in economics. It's MV equals PQ. It's just kind of a given. It's not something you argue over. MV, M is for money. MV equals PQ, and PQ, P is the price level. So if you don't change anything else, like they're not doing, right? If you increase M on one side of the equation, the price level P has to go up by definition, right? So this is just standard economics. You learn it in your first, macro econ class, taught in every economics textbook. And then you got the president of the United States standing up there saying, we're going to stimulate the economy even more, right? And saying that this is good for inflation. It's going to lower the price level. So I did hear it yesterday, just in passing. And I said to my staff, I said, whoa, did he just say that? And, nothing shocks us anymore. It's just the Animal Farm, 1984. But we really don't, and I say this in all seriousness, we do not have a price system, right? Economics, microeconomics is about the price system. Prices convey infinite information if you let them work, right? At Walmart, why does Walmart have everything on the shelf stocked? Just what you need. They got snow tires, batteries, eggs, food, whatever you want, right? How does it know that? Because the price gets bid up of stuff that's being bought. And Walmart's smart, so they say, I'm going to get that stuff and put it on my shelf. So the price system works. The problem we're facing right now that's very serious is we're getting rid of the price system, and instead we're putting in the government system. And I've been saying that for years, but now it's getting scarier in terms of the Chinese have this down to a science. They have a statist capitalism, and I'm worried we're starting to copy that, and I'm worried the left is moving in that direction toward a statist capitalism where the government by fiat just tells you obey or you're in trouble. And so the economics quickly turns into the politics. Freedom in one sphere is intimately related to freedom in the other sphere.
Well, so that moves us closer to a planned economy where the government is interjecting itself into it, where it moves us into socialism, Marxist ideology then in our political realm.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely correct. And I felt it acutely in my race when you're running and you're trying to do the will of the people. But when the government takes over 20% healthcare and then another 20% education, right? K to 12, higher ed or whatever, and another 20% of this, a few 20s and you're out of business politically, right? I mean, that's 60% of the population the government's controlling, and everybody depends on a government check instead of on their own initiative and their own genius and their own intuition and all the gifts God gives you at birth uniquely to you to achieve your personal best for building the kingdom of God. And so that's what's at stake, right? It's your freedom to determine your future. And as a country, the freedom of us 300 million individuals is the freedom of the country. And they got to both work in tandem. You're free at the individual level and you aggregate that up, and you're free at the national level. But you can kill freedom at either end. You can have a totalitarian surveillance state like they have in China, and we're getting closer at the top level. And at the micro level, you have a totalitarian surveillance state where they watch every move you make.
It's almost as if we're selling our freedom for some pottage and porridge. We've got, this $7 trillion stimulus spending, hey, we'll give you more money, just surrender more of your freedoms. Dave Brat, always great to talk with you. Out of time, we're up against a break. Good to see you again.
You bet. Go see Soren Kierkegaard. He just said what you said. You're a smart man.